Order March 9th, 11 a.m. Nina, please call, oh, I'm calling to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Joe Biden, please start us off. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nina, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch?
Here.
Member Collins?
Here.
Member Lewis?
Here.
Member Sonity?
Here.
Member Williams?
Here.
We have the approval of the minutes from the February 23rd meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 23rd meeting.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Steve, seconded by Jamie. Are there any questions? Any corrections? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Unfinished business, we have the release of the maintenance bond for Twilla Development.
Yes, Madam Chairman. So, as you may recall from the last meeting, we were getting documents to our stormwater engineer, Christopher Burke, or loop over Christopher Burke's office. I'm confirmed that he's gotten everything that we needed him to review, so we're still awaiting his engineering review, and then we'll get back to Twilla's attorney and keep working on this. So I'm going to ask the board to table it yet again so we can still keep working through.
Okay, we'll need a motion to table.
I'll make a motion, we table the release of the tool development maintenance bond.
I second that.
We have a motion by Jamie, seconded by Joetta and Scott, the other. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business, we have the award of the 2021 paving bid. AJ?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, the Department of Planning and Community Development has had a chance to review the bids that were opened at the previous Board of Works meeting and would recommend the project be awarded to the lowest responsive bidder of Reith Riley Construction Company, Inc. for the amount totaling $824,887.82. And we'd make that recommendation contingent on Attorney Witten having a chance to review documents, the bid documents.
I make a motion that we accept the paving bid that was being recommended by the Community Development Department. This bid will be also reviewed by our law department before final approval.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Scott, seconded by Jamie. Are there any questions? I do have a question. Is this the Robbins Road?
No,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
we'll be taking that matter up at the
This is
redevelopment.
just the paving bid?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, are there any further questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ.
We have a special event request by Ophelia Rowan for a beanbag tournament. I love your helper.
Spokesman.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
My best friend's murdered. My best friend's son was murdered this past October. It was the homicide in Griffith of the two young boys. So in honor of him, in his birthday month, I wanted to do a fundraiser to a charity of the Mother's Choice for gun violence or victims of homicide. And I wanted to hold it at the open air pavilion as a beanbag tournament fundraiser.
Okay.
September 11th,
Have
I'm
you
sorry.
spoken to the park department?
I did.
Okay.
I filled out the agreement for the open air, the lakefront pavilion, and then I also spoke with, yesterday, Sheila from the Porter Health Department in regards to food.
Okay.
So I pretty much have done the starting process of it so that I can work on everything else, because it wouldn't be until September of this year.
Okay.
So obviously, we're not sure what the COVID requirements are going to be. Everybody's speculating.
Right, yeah, in regards to food, my beginning idea is to do like a buffet style and have people purchase plates. I did talk to Sheila regarding what the procedure is for the food side of it and then the COVID side. So I am aware of both, and obviously with it being so far in advance, we did say COVID part might be non-existent at that point, but either way, my preparations would be for with or without.
Are you going to sell the food, or are you going to just give it away?
No, it would be per plate, so it would be like $10 per plate, and it would be all you can eat at that point.
Did Sheila at the health department talk about the handlers of the food that will be putting it on the plate?
Right.
Having food handler permits? Did she mention anything in that regard?
She sent me an email with all paperwork attached to it. I haven't had an opportunity to read it yet. I guess my main thing now is to look for a caterer that is familiar with that.
Sure.
Who it's going to be pretty easy for them to do. I would be assuming that some people at this point are used to the COVID restrictions, so the catering company would know. But she did mention that I would have to have servers, if COVID restrictions were still around at that time, to serve the food as opposed to people grabbing on their own.
Exactly. Yeah, if you use a caterer, you're more likely to get someone then that, as you stated, who knows the requirements. Their employees would have food handlers permits. It's my understanding if you're selling the food, that food handlers permit is an important aspect of
Okay.
serving. The other thing I guess I would raise, and I commend you for getting involved with this. It's great. Social distancing, if it has to take, it's okay. Thank you for your comment. Social distancing in a beanbag tournament is somewhat challenging because you've got your partner literally right next to you.
Right.
Mask obviously may be required, but I guess that would be my concern on a proven event where, is there a plan for social distancing?
My initial plan is to, if we get closer to the time to put it out there for people, would be to state that masks are required, yes.
But the actual 6 feet would not, I don't know how you'd adhere to that.
Well, I went to the open air pavilion and saw that it is a large grass area next to the actual pavilion. So my thought process was to put the boards out there in the grass area, separate enough to where someone can stand 6 feet away, and then still be 6 feet away from the next set of boards.
How many boards are you thinking to have?
I'm not sure yet. Usually, from what I've seen, they try to do 4 boards to get 2 games going at once. But the area is pretty big, and my thought process is to get as many as I can to kind of make it move at a more quicker pace, because I've seen where these things can last for hours, and that's not, I don't want it to go from 9 a.m. to midnight. I would rather it start in the afternoon and towards the evening. So that's my plan.
Well, you have on your application that arrival time would be 9 a.m. and departure time would be 11 p.m.
Oh, that, I think I just put
The
that
event
because
time
is the pavilion contract time, I believe. But I think it asked what I would want my event time to start at, and I
Right.
think I put 1 or 2.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
Okay.
And then you are planning on offering alcohol for sale?
I would purchase it through well, I wouldn't purchase it, I would do the option with the open air pavilion of open bar where people would pay for their own. I don't want this to be, for lack of better words, a drunk fest. This is for a fundraiser, so my thing is people who want to purchase liquor would have to pay out of their own pocket, so unless they have a lot of money to get that drunk, I mean, like I said, I don't want to entice people to come for the free liquor. My thing is if they want to buy a couple of beers, that's on them.
Something else was top of mind. It escaped me. I don't know. Maybe others have questions.
I just have one. Well, you know, you would have to have police protection if you're serving alcohol. You were told that through the park?
Yes, I believe Christina told me that security is part of the contract.
Okay.
And they quoted you a price on the rental?
I believe looking at it, it was 800. That doesn't include the security or the cash bar.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting I would tell you how to run your event and how you structure the fees, but I would hope that you've done the math on what your expenses are going to be to make sure your time is worthwhile, that you're going to make some money.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
I'll make a motion to go forward with the event, contingent upon the fact that we don't know what the COVID restrictions will be, and you'll have to be compliant.
Right, I would keep in touch with both Sheila and Christina. Sheila, I would probably keep in touch with more only because the food part is in my opinion, the most important as far as COVID restrictions are concerned. The food part of it, as far as having it delivered at a whatever temperature they require, she would contact the catering company that I choose to go with.
Okay. And it's possible that, you know, the catering company would have licensed bartenders too that they could provide.
So have you talked to the parks about the caterers that they use? Because they have quite a lengthy list.
Actually, that's who I was gonna contact, moving forward, because
Yeah.
I don't really, I've never done this before, but I, would think that they would know people who cater pretty good and are good as far as how they handle themselves and know what to do.
So what made you select the open air pavilion?
I like the open space part of it. Obviously, with the bean bags, I would prefer it to be outdoor than indoor. And with the time, the weather, and September was her son's birthday month, and that was what I was shooting for. His birthday was the end of September. He was murdered a few weeks later, so it's kind of almost close to the anniversary of his passing as well. But I just think it's beautiful property. I took a drive there with my kids, and I just think the place where it's at, it was just really pretty.
Well, I'm like Scott, $800 is a little bit salty, and that comes off the top of your profits, and, you know, I clearly see what you're doing. Have you looked at other parks that, you know, like even maybe like Imagination Glen or something that would be?
Actually, no, I haven't. And even coming here today, we lived here in Portage now for 3 years. And we still are discovering new locations. I wanted to find a trail to take my kids to walk on every day. And I found is it Pikeland Trail that goes through the town?
Prairie Duneland.
Yes, and so, I mean, I didn't even know that this park existed until now. So
we have Countryside Park, and we actually have 15 parks.
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
the reason I was bringing that up is that, you know, if your intention is to raise money, that I felt like $800 was quite a bit, you might want to talk to the parks about something maybe a little bit less at one of the other parks.
Okay.
Just saying.
No, I mean, I actually thought that coming in here, only because the only reason why I saw open air was because I looked for places, pavilions outside, and that's the first one that popped up.
Have you been to Countryside Park out on Highway 6?
No.
I was gonna
Okay.
suggest that. How many, what is your charge? Are you charging for registration?
Well, it's a discussion I was gonna have with the rest of the people who are helping me organize. My husband and a friend of mine, they do beanbag tournaments all the time. So I've known from what he does that it's usually either $20 a team or $20 a person. That was a decision we were gonna make too, whether we would have people bring a teammate or put everybody's name in and do blind draw. So my thought off the top was maybe $20 a person.
Okay, that was what I was like, and you're looking at $800 to rental, so that you're looking at, you need X amount of people to
Right.
just break even there without any food or drinks or anything.
Do you have an idea? I know this is your first time, but with your knowledge of, your husband's knowledge of beanbag tournament, do you have an idea how many people you would expect, or?
Well, see, the way we were going to promote it was to have myself, the mother of the deceased, and then some of her family members to post it on Facebook. So that way our friends, her family and friends, and maybe anyone else who knows about the situation and what happened, can come and play. I know that right now the capacity is 100 from what I was told by the Parks Department. Hopefully that changes by then, but I was at least hoping and thinking I could get at least 100.
Well, I can withdraw my motion until you decide which of the parks you'd like to use.
Yeah, I think,
Is that okay?
you know,
Okay.
just to help you out a little bit, I think we're just trying to give you some advice that maybe you want to check out our other parks and, you know, just consider them, because like I said, we have 15 parks. Some are much smaller, but I think like Countryside might be something. I don't know what the cost to rent it is, but they also have a building there, so you could probably prepare your food in there and it would be clean and sanitary. I just think that $800 is going to take a lot off the top of your event.
Okay. Countryside Park, you said, is the other one?
Countryside, it's out on 6.
And did you also say Imagination Glen?
Yeah, Imagination Glen is on the east side of the city, off McCool Road.
Okay.
And that is huge. Now, that's a very heavy used park, but,
Yeah, do they have a
you know,
shelter?
I think you need to check out the other parks to save yourself some money.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I did think it was a lot too. It's just so pretty too.
It is, but, you know, your goal is to try to raise money, so.
Right.
Excuse me. Imagination Glen, they don't have a shelter, do they?
They have a concession stand and
Oh, do
everything there.
they? I know Imagination Glen East does.
Oh, not the one off of McCool Road,
They don't,
well,
no.
there's one,
It's not
there's
an
concession
enclosed
stand.
shelter.
No.
It's
It's
just,
a-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
There's one by that softball field.
Yeah, that's a concession stand,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
not a,
No, it wouldn't, they wouldn't have anything like the open air pavilion, no.
no,
Yeah.
no, just like some picnic benches.
Oh, okay. I mean, that even works for, in my opinion, because the main thing is the tournament. People want to sit down and eat, that they're not all sitting at once.
So Joetta, have you been to Countryside where the museum, the old museum is? There's, you know, that like cement area
Oh, yeah,
to the
yeah.
west side, and when Historical Society has their things, they put picnic benches there. There's a fishing pond there. I mean, it's quite a nice venue.
It is.
And so I think maybe you have plenty of time to look around rather than strap yourself into an $800 fee.
Okay.
So that's our recommendation to
Okay,
you, to
that's
come
fine.
back here, but we just want to see you have a successful event and be able to raise some money.
Okay. Thank you. So then I would just submit my request once again for a new date.
Well, the date doesn't have to change if you find the
No.
right location.
I mean, to come to the meeting, to come up here again. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you,
And
guys.
we meet the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. So
Okay.
we're here every month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Special event request for the Portage Exchange Club. Is anyone here from Portage Exchange? I know that they want to have their Prevent Child Abuse Awareness and put their pinwheels out on Central Avenue east of the PD like they usually do. I think they didn't do that last year because of the COVID. Basically, what they do is just come out and stick the pinwheels in, and that's it.
It's pretty simple. I make a motion that we approve the Portage Exchange Club event of placing the pinwheels on the lawn just east of the PD off of Central Avenue.
I'll second.
We have motion by Scott, seconded by Steve to give the permission to the Portage Exchange Club to place their pinwheels east of the police station. Is there any further discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have bulk item appeals, Randy?
The sanitation department has no appeals at this time.
Wow, good job.
Moving the snow was one thing, but that was truly an achievement.
That was, yes. We have the claims of 241,000,
No, that's wrong. It's
$2,414,344.95. Yeah, we wish they were 241,000.
I did have an addition to the claim docket, and it was for when we went for a bond rating for the GO bond. So the new claim amount is $2,429,844.95.
All right, could you repeat that, please, Nina?
$2,429,844.95.
And that was for our bond rating, Nina?
Correct.
Okay. I thought that was free.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Do we have a motion to approve the claims, or are there, well, let's have a motion first.
I do have a couple of questions.
We
Are
have
we
to
in
have a
the motion
motion
first?
and a second and a discussion.
I'll make a motion to accept the claims in the amount of $2,429,844.95.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Steve, seconded by Jamie. Are there any questions?
Yes. So, we were talking about the bonds. So the Marina Shore, all those transactions through Wilmington Trust,
So those are all of our, they're bonds that we have to report on, but they're not really our bonds, they're developer bonds.
Okay.
So it was just, some of the statements, we don't get them constantly, you might get quarterly, or you get them,
So we're just
bi-annually.
declaring that?
Yeah, so it was just, cleaning them up and making, posting any items, any transactions for the end of the year, annual finance report.
So is that an annual thing for that one, or?
Yeah, we post them just at the end of the year before we do the annual report.
And then we also had the key government finance, machinery and equipment.
And so that was for police vehicles that the city had purchased early last year. It was an equipment lease purchase through the Indiana Bond Bank. So the bank that the financing was through was Key Government Finance, so it was just posting
Okay.
all those transactions.
Okay.
So they hold it in an escrow account. We don't actually have the money in our funds, so.
Okay.
And I do have a question for Randy, and it may seem trivial. Chief Randy, I see we had a vehicle where we had an oil change and tire rotation done by readers. I thought we were doing that internally.
Not the fire cars.
Not the fire car.
Right, because we really don't have the facilities to do that.
They can't do that down at the street department, change oil on a fire car? Or
We
rotate
haven't
the
been doing
tire?
that because they've been busy with police cars and all their other stuff, so we really haven't used them in a while.
Well, I'd only ask that you make that a priority and try to get it done at the street department. We've spent $82, not a lot of money in the
Right.
scheme of things. When you're talking about a $2.5 million docket, it just caught my attention.
Right, I'll give it to the superintendent, I see him every once in a while.
Okay, thank you, Randy.
Are there any other questions on the claims?
I have one question. And I'm not familiar, I just wanted to know a little bit more about the grant 2020 community crossing, the refund overpayment.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I was saying I was not familiar, I just want to know a little bit about the grant 2020 community crossings, It's the Indiana Department of Transportation.
So they give us a lump sum amount of money, and if the project ends up coming under that threshold, we have to send the money back to the state.
Okay. And what project was that for?
I'm sorry, the community crossing grant is for paving projects.
Okay.
The state matches up to $1 million.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And if you have questions on community crossings grant, AJ and Sandy are the two that work on those predominantly. They're done by our community development. They schedule the paving and determine where the need is the most.
Oh, okay.
And that's how that happens.
Thank
And
you,
they're
ma'am.
always happy to tell you everything you want to know about that.
Thank you.
I do have one more question.
Scott, you want to talk first?
So the live streaming and the media services, Joyce Russell and then Shackelford?
Yes, he's right back there.
Right, okay. That still comes out of the city hall equipment repairs. When we do the next budget, is there a line item we can include that in?
It would come out, it's really the whole charter of accounts is being revamped. So really the 300s is a professional services line item.
Okay,
Why it's actually titled equipment repair,
okay,
it's not.
okay.
It was just never updated through the years.
Okay. In the future, will it, or are we just stuck with it?
It's changed.
Okay, good.
We're in the middle of going back and doing adjustments for bank reconcilments from 2017. And until those are done, I can't roll the year. So once I'm able to roll the year, then it'll be reflected. I can't do it till we close it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions on the claims? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any other business to come before this board?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I believe there are 2 major illness claims I've
yes,
signed
there
off
are,
on.
sorry.
There were actually 3 proposed, but one of them I needed more information, so I have approved 2, which I would ask the board to approve.
Do we have a motion to approve the 2 major illness claims?
I make a motion to approve the 2 major illness claims per Dan Whitten.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Steve, seconded by Jamie, to approve the 2 major illness claims. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, Dan.
That's okay. I'm easy
Is
to
there any
forget.
other business to come before this board? Okay,
I just have
everyone.
a question. Scott, last time we gave it to you to the ordinance. How's that
Oh,
coming
yeah.
along?
The ordinance committee did meet. We have not finalized any suggestions. I shared with them at our ordinance committee meeting some of the suggestions and concerns that this board has. So that's in the works.
Okay.
And I said the sense of urgency because we're going to be getting requests. I'm surprised we don't have any today for solicitations at the 3 intersections that we basically have approved. So yes, that's in the works and it's a high priority.
And I know they're working on it because the assistant city attorney, I use that term lightly because she's actually my boss, she asked me some questions about it. She attended that as well. So they're putting the ordinances together and she had a couple of clarifications. I know they're working on it.
And I got another one for you, Dan. And how are we doing with Chief Candiano and 10, what was that called, Proposition 10, the ride-along and all that, we're going to revamp?
So he, last we chatted, he just said he was pulling it back because there were other concerns were coming up. He was looking at other ride programs in other departments, so at this point he just didn't want to go any further with it. There are other policies and regulations that seem to be more pressing, so he's just sort of tight. That, as it stands, he has the discretion.
Okay.
So he's just going to use his discretion, to limit that ridership to kind of address some of the concerns that came up. But when he's ready, he'll bring it back.
Okay, thanks.
And he'd be here, but he just texted me, he got caught up on the range because he was going to come chat a little bit about that.
Any
Home
other-
on the range?
Any other questions or concerns? If not, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
No second. I'll second it. I was waiting for you.
We have a
to
motion
show
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Everyone have a great day.